Y'all really paid for this Silverhound beat?
No, I'm that bitch. Psychokinetic, my bars go off and make your man switch. Not sympathetic, second no stop, I break the stat list. Calling a medic, cause you won't drop and dodging shots and got the bags doing backflips. Max hits, boom, hey, missing with that zoom zoom. S-class with that vroom vroom. Shorty here need room too. Bitches saying who knew. Ran the game when you threw. I don't do what you do. Tell them all to move through, move through. Tatsumaki spin around but never taught me. Got the green, you'll never copy. I'ma pull up to the lobby. I'ma go and catch a body. I'ma rage, you'll never stop me. Never go and try to mock me. Do 'em like you origami. That boy getting full. Did he say that I'm the coolest? I'm back up on my old shit. I'm sick of being told shit. I'm never one to settle for second. The second I'm winning, I'm taking it. I be the win, I'm breaking it. I see the boots you quaking in.
Diplomat of the world, my glass went from a 0 to the top of the pack. If you basking the most heinous acts, pretending pistol, go click, click, clack. Put a round to your face, not the one I'm a mask with the kind of shit that'll kill law and impact. Hold on 1 minute, give me eye contact. When it's finished, you can run it back. What if I say they must obey? My oh my, had a times and change. But a greenhead baby, them life's insane. Fucking 2 bitches in my nightmare frame. Sold on my hip, finna fuck up your face. Kiosks can pussy, bitch, stay out my way. Hurricanes so quick when I'm running they base. 11 shots for you thought I was slain. Born elite, but I wasn't down with imperialistic greed. Earn prestige, and to the future, man, I got the key. Y'all switch up like Shinkiro with no AGS and tryna see. Speak on none of Lee, you get ripped up by my zero beam. Once my sigil hits your will gets overwrote by mine. I can tell you, you will and must hear this line a second time. I can tell you, you will and must hear this line. Well, you get it, can't prevent it. Emperor Lou, yes, the people's menace.
Catching flicks on anatomy, and same as standing next to me. Levitation can't get nothing as high, cause this that better tree. I look down at the world listless, there's no checking me. Well, reformation, tis, till it's best for me. Till we in our sound loud and check the fit drip. Feel that little peep in the kite, I'm a misfit. My brother, I fucking be my boy with a big grit. Psychic reading future fucking with me is a big ditch. Future fucking with us is a big ditch. I don't need to move my lips, they know the fucking mission. Coffee is gelato rolling up beside a switch on. Wanna be my massage, sure that I'm gifted. Walking prophecy, nah, shake your dick. Clairvoyant to the bull blunt, keep the odds right. See if I let my mom want a reunion in my head. Make the best out of disastrous life that we live on.
Show me where to fade at. Temper tantrum, hella childish, we don't really play that. Or you really think you bout it, so we on the way back. Or I really got them talking to me, say less. You gon' find out I direct almost every lane. Try to step, but you hesitate. Playing checkers, I'm checking things. That's forever on everything. And you sour as lemon, but not as appealing. You and your feelings, where I am, they thought I'd be the villain. I got it, big talk, running game. Tryna put my class on. Voice change, before that COVID came, put my mask on. Call shots with no camera phone. We just dial tones, words thrown. More than sticks and stones. At a glass home, when that foe, they could be vagabond. Far as that goes, I'm back on. Word is I'm back to the bone. Got me in that mode. Your hands froze. You resembling Shoto. Only half cold, no backbone. Only stand you took is in a back row.
Yeah, that's me, on your mind, sending shivers down your spine. I'm that cute as a button, but prickly like porcupines. Infiltrating thoughts, trying to connect all the dots. Trying to walk the way I talk, sure do God to bite and fall. Started from the bottom, now we upper echelon. Starlight the one to bring peace, he is just the second son. Might be 4 or 5, but after 6 foot danger. Keep the 45, it's got 2 bullets in the chamber. Mission possible with time, cruising to the finish line. Papa's working overtime, it don't matter rain or shine. Yeah, and my mama's the best. You take 1 step to me, you take a heel to your chest. Please, honey, keep it bobbing like a peanut. Mess with the fortress, then I hope you got a phoenix. Star catch, arrow collaboration like a remix. I spy with my widow, you get defeated.
I can hear it calling me. Fuck who's stopping me, bitch, I am the apocalypse. That talking shit is not for me, cause just my thoughts could turn a tank to a smoke signal. Squad like Save Our Souls, bet they mamas get emotional. I don't feel a thing, my homies keep them pose, they might recoil way by the spring. See them clowns be talking crazy, I might wipe out your whole gang. They be chicken in the street, but I don't got no side to take. I wake up in that hospital, I'm already insane. No malevolence, I'm bent, all your morals mean a grain. I see heat around the culture, watch it blow up in your face. I don't miss my transportation, watch me go to outer space. But don't hold your breath for me, bitch, I'm okay. You want the smoke, I could contort it to my will. I do the Lord's work, fuck any weapon form, cause mine concealed, young, invincible. My whole existence liminal, might do you in on accident, might do you in off principle,
Stay
bitch.
ready like a blood, but I'm crippin' when I'm walking in. Boy said that he's bad to the bone, so I popped his limb. We ain't on no playground, but his body still got chalk on it. Made him change his tune, Scarlet Witch, he won't talk again. You capping like Hanazawa, don't act like I'm not a problem. You lack what I'm packing, so you get smacked like you up and yada. Immaculate swagger comes from the savage, where I be propping, so please don't make me snap. It's a rap, no calling doctors. I'm messing with the mob, let's go far, this that crack music. I've been by my paper, check the numbers like a math student. Beam when I see the green, dimples looking mad rude. Scream when I hit the scene, cause I'm gonna mass nuke it. So bring your metal like it kill you with my intellect. Ain't vibing how we vibing, you on earbuds, we on intellect. I've been a threat, body improving the way I run shit. I got 99 problems, no end be in the 100.
Hey, bitch, I'm legendary. Signs made you fucking with an emissary. First 150, I'm a OG, you just temporary. Psychic on the mic, and strikes with ice, I'm like it's Ben and Jerry's. Chopper fully loaded, yeah, that Sabi aiming at your belly. I'll turn your all to ass, little bitch, I'm telepathic. Yeah, these bars and Charizard are called up problematic. Humans act erratic, up the static, they gon' get this damage. You just strike back, well, bitch, I know you ain't forget the caption. I switch his flow too easy, believe me, I'm eating the beating. I ain't conceding defeat, cause I'm an elite and you see it. I got that telekinesis seeping through me, so you can bring out your best H1 beam, will crush your whole team. Get it? Little boy, can you feel the pressure? Your music go Omega, bring back some super smash. I'm master ball forever. Got a few sides, so when I'm on the mic, I leave these other boys confused. You don't wanna fight, but I'ma end your life and I'ma put that shit on mute.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're doing okay tonight. Oh shit. Apparently, I'm not. All right. I've got the main two topics pulled up because really that's what I wanted to focus on. Because there's like a whole Google of these text messages, and they're interesting. They're very interesting. But also this Jake Lucky, I mean, looks like a fucking douchebag. It's a lot of thing, but I was like, we got to talk about this. So Eric July runs the YouTube channel Young Rippa. I can't remember the name of the channel. Whatever, it's right over here. Anyways, started his own comic book company, right? Rippaverse Comics, and he opened up for pre-orders and got $1 in orders. However, 1.2 million of that was paid through PayPal has been put on hold because PayPal is hitting him for a actually I think I'm the part of okay, so he's actually had the fucking shit. Here we go. Does PayPal permit transactions for pre-sale items? Pre-sale item is advertised for sale before the seller actually has the item. Often these items are sold before they are available to the general public. A seller might use the money from the pre-sale of an item to purchase the item. PayPal permits pre-sales on a limited basis as long as the seller guarantees shipment within 20 days from the date of purchase, clearly identifies the item as a pre-sale, provides proof if needed that they can successfully deliver the product. So my thing is, they hit him, I guess, for a TOS violation. My problem is, people do order campaigns and money through PayPal. Major companies have done that before, but I mean, actually, like other content creators have done it too. But Eric July gets this like massive interest in what he's doing. PayPal, like, you know, they hit his campaign. It's just like, you know, it feels targeted. It feels like there's a but let me so fight the system that fights back. In a video made earlier tonight, Eric July told viewers that PayPal flagged the Rippaverse account because of, it claims, the huge and sudden influx of money, placing the funds on. They asked July to provide certain information for verification purposes, which he says he did, and he received an email about their pre-order policy in return. He then spent the past week and a half talking to various PayPal representatives on the phone. Watch this video below for the whole story of what July advised you to use PayPal to order anything from comics. Now, according to him, he says that he's still going to honor all of the pre-orders came through PayPal, so PayPal's put the money on hold. But as far as like the bullshit reasons, there we go. So where it says right here in the article, you know, he spent they asked July to provide certain information. Well, that seems to be what it means over here. Provides proof if needed, they can successfully deliver the product. Right, supplier information, purchase invoices, shipping information, or delivery confirmation. So he's followed the rules. I mean, like, look, I think it's bullshit to hit him for the he's probably proof that he's for the product. But I guess as an independent content creator, not a major corporation, could make the argument that it is a risk or a concern for him, right? But once he's done that, once he's provided the PayPal, for PayPal to then respond to him by simply hitting him with their pre-order policy, just ridiculous. That's just clear that they do not intend to work with him at all, right? I mean, like, how else can you read that they just don't want to fuck? Over here, right? I just want to read this. How PayPal helps protect against pre-selling risk. PayPal also takes measures to protect you and the buyer in pre-sales. I'm pretty sure this is the policy that was actually sent over. One measure is an account reserve, an amount of money held in your PayPal account for a temporary period of time. It ensures your buyer receives the product or service they paid for the agreed upon time. Learn more on account reserves here. Check if a reserve was placed on your account by viewing on hold balance, log into your PayPal business account, and clicking on money. I mean, this, again, if this was what was sent over, it doesn't address regards to their policy, right? Maybe I'm just fucking blind. Anyway, so Nina quote tweeted PayPal from June 11, 2020. Where, like, last June, we made a commitment to invest in black businesses and underserved communities to close the racial wealth gap and tackle systemic inequality. Laid a strong foundation to continue the work. Learn more about the actions we've taken this year. But then you have this shit here. How about you let a black man, Eric July, who made it on his own, access his money, what they're holding? Do better, PayPal. Hashtag Ripaverse. Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty fun. Right? This person goes like, it's in PayPal rules for pre-orders. PayPal has no such rule. It says will hold the money until shipped for pre-order. PayPal is horrible, but they didn't hide it. Make the decision just for you. Congratulations to you. Again, that does not say it's an absolute thing. It says it's discretionary. While your money is on hold, PayPal is withholding for maximum 21 days any money above $6,000 US in sales each month because we noticed in sales activity. I mean, that really what it's about. I think they're gonna still hit him for this bullshit of, you need to actually ship out and provide the product and then be paid for it. Which is bullshit because PayPal has campaigns. And they accept payment through PayPal. Like PayPal, I don't think that there's an instance of PayPal doing this on a campaign like Eric's. But at the same time, if they do stop it because they say, hey, we can actually deliver because these orders are so massive, right? But if he provides that proof and then they still hold the fucking money, say, no, you have to ship it out first. That is somebody in that fucking company screwing with him, more than likely because they do not like his. I mean, look, we know where PayPal is located. We know how these big tech operate. It wouldn't be the first time that they've, sided against somebody based solely, or seemingly, around their political. I guess is the best way of putting it. But I think this fucking. I think it's bullshit. I think it's just like it's a reason that they have to fuck with. That is all. My mic is cutting off. I don't know why. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I just moved the mic closer, so hopefully that works out. But yeah, no, when it's talking about like this shit here, I'm going like it seems to me that, you know, PayPal is just fucking with him, right? Like that's the only way I can read it. They are just screwing with him. I have an image. Something to do with Tipster. I don't think it's really important. I guess later if it comes up. But anyways, guys, you tell me what you think about this whole situation with Eric's campaign. Like, look, it's 1.2 million, so it's about a third of the money, right, that he raised on this campaign. He says he's still able to meet everybody's orders. And look, at that point, if PayPal then still chooses to hold the money back from him, well, at that point, I think that you have a case against their company. The thing is, because they have that policy in place, even if they don't enforce it for anyone else, they can simply do it and then say, well, because he is just one person, you know, and it's so much, and he's never had anything like this before, we need to make sure, right? And you know what's really fucked up, right? If PayPal had done this to, like, any black content creator who's simply, like, not, you know, A, conservative, B, a libertarian, or C, just anti-establishment, right? If they had done it to a black liberal, for instance, people would be fucking outraged, right? I mean, first off, they'd call it fucking outright racism. That they would look at a black content creator and say, oh, you don't have the means to actually supply the product, right? If they did this to anyone else, they would be fucking outraged. But because it's Eric July, right, and he regularly rips on mainstream comics for their fucking super woke approach and shit, and his comic line is specifically in response to DC and Marvel in an attempt to take away their business, right? Like, they're just like, oh, fuck that guy, right? Like, it's so messed up. It really is. He's done everything right, and they're intentionally holding back money that he has earned, that he has every right to. And for people like, I checked it up because I was like, yeah, let me just Google search Eric July PayPal, and there are people on fucking making these videos, right? And you just tell these are like the grimy fucking nobodies. And they're like, oh, Eric July, what a loser. He didn't read the PayPal rules. I'm like, you know, you need to go fuck yourself. Can you imagine, like, sucking the dick of a mainstream fucking corporation? Like, a big fucking tech social media company of any kind? Big tech in general? Can you imagine, like, sucking their fucking ass? Going like, oh, he didn't follow this rule that they don't enforce on anybody else. What a fucking loser. Like, goddamn. What absolute mongoloid piece of shit. I like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just like pissy about it because, you know, you have somebody who is genuinely trying to build something. He's not trying to tear down something else. Or I guess you could argue he is trying to take customers away, but not by he's building up his own company, and they're interfering in his business. PayPal is directly interfering in his business. And again, all of these assholes that are coming after Eric in any other situation, right? If this was another black content creator, they would be the first people to run in and cry out how racist it is to demand that a black content creator prove they can provide the product. They'd be pissed. They'd be outraged. They really would. But because it's Eric July and his views are not aligned with their own, fuck him. Fuck him. He broke PayPal's bullshit fucking policy. Fuck him. It's so screwed. It really is. It absolutely. Crow, you described most of Twitter. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Definitely, I did. I absolutely. But like this, it really pisses me off. It absolutely does. This is so fucked. I mean, because again, you have someone. I know I'm saying it a bunch. Have somebody is trying to build something, and instead have people interfering in. You know, if they think that his comics are gonna fucking fail, then he should be. Then he's gonna fail without all of this bullshit fucking interference. But you know, PayPal knows what they're doing. Same thing with like GoFundMe, right? Everybody used to love GoFundMe, but then you see how absolute bullshit GoFundMe is in enforcing their fucking policy, right? And look, regardless of what you feel about politics or whatever, when it came to people that were being arrested during the riots, BLM riots, those were people being charged with crimes, and GoFundMe was totally okay with you know, campaigns to get the rioters out, right? They didn't care. But then you look at situations like what happened in New York with Jose Alba, a guy who, you know, people say he was the bodega owner. He was just an employee there. Someone comes into the store, attacks him. He gets stabbed by a woman, and the DA like charges him for defending himself and doesn't even charge the woman who stabbed him. They arrest this guy and they hit him. They tried to go after him for like $500,000 bail in New York City, where they've been letting everybody fucking else out, right? But you see, people were like, okay, his bail was only a quarter of a fucking million. So they went to GoFundMe to raise the money, and GoFundMe immediately shut down the fucking fundraiser because he's a criminal. He's being charged with crime. Absolute fucking insanity. Or you know, how about the situation that's going on recently? I forget the name of the individual. Not that I fucking care to repeat it, but you have some jackass who I don't care if people want to say he was having a mental health episode. No. You have somebody who regularly had issues with a woman in the apartment building, right? One day takes out a gun and starts firing it into the walls, into the apartment of the woman that he has been fighting with. For 6 hours, this woman is trapped in there with her kids as this motherfucker's parents are brought out, fucking negotiators are brought out, and this dude will not put down the gun and continues to fire it into the apartment with this woman and her kids in there. And the police have to take him out to stop him from killing children. Because they don't care about the woman at all, right? They don't care about her. Not that they care about the kids either. But then these absolute fucking grifting motherfuckers start up a GoFundMe to raise money because he was taken away. He was taken away. Oh, poor baby. Look, man, I get it. I get for the family. It's sad that your kid passed away. But how dare you fuck? Like you motherfuckers were literally brought in to try to talk your son down, and he just kept fucking going off. It wasn't a mental. He was trying to murder someone that he disliked. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. So this woman starts a GoFundMe, and the fucking psychopaths bullshit, oh poor baby, GoFundMe is like outraising hers until somebody calls it out. And then these assholes decide they're gonna like hold a fucking I don't know, like a demonstration. I'm not gonna call it a fucking vigil. Like, fuck these absolute fucking mongoloid jackasses, right? So what they do is they show up outside the apartment where this guy was doing this stuff, right? And they start spray painting his name and talking about what like a kind and sweet person he was and how the police were wrong to take him. And the woman pulls up and she's like just going off, right? It's like, what are you fucking doing? This guy had a gun. He was trying to murder me and my kids. And while she is screaming this shit, right? Starting to break it down, you have hecklers in the fucking audience that showed up to this bullshit fucking vigil. And they're like, oh, there are no bullets in you. You're still alive though. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, look, again, I mean, I'm not gonna feel sorry that the guy died. If he died in the process trying to murder other people, right? Like, look, that. I mean, like, what do they fucking want? If this guy had killed this woman and her kids, they'd fucking defend him. It's insane. Like, they don't fucking care. I mean, it's nuts to me because supposedly there are all of these innocent black people who are being wrongly persecuted and wrongly targeted by the police. But these absolute assholes always find the hardcore fucking criminals to stand behind and talk about how they're such kind. Like, man, what do you mean? What do you mean? The president literally had the nerve to tell her that she should be grateful that she's alive. No, yeah, they did. They did. They absolutely did. Again, for like the family members of the guy that died, I understand them being sad. I understand them, you know, being angry. But like, it's outside of that. Like, you also have to acknowledge fucking reality. And you cannot go out to where this woman lives and start holding fucking events outside of her fucking apartment, talking about the guy that traumatized her and her children, and what a kind and sweet person he was, and how they were wrong to take him. 6 hours. 6 hours. The cops tried to get this guy to stop. Isn't that nuts? Supposedly, the cops will always like bust in, just like murder someone who's black. This situation, for 6 hours, they tried talking this guy down, and BLM is still trying to like parade this guy around as like an innocent victim. It's insane. It's fucking. It is. Oh wait, when was this? It was like a couple weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago. No, it was only a couple weeks ago. Maybe even a week. It was really recent, Natanya. Like, God, I got like. Anyways, what's the tip they're talking about? Oh, BX Beast Boy and Tipster are fine. See, sending threats. That's insane. What happened to the guy? Crying about people going after Eugene Cooney. There is someone out there throwing shady at a particular group of people when they really don't have any place doing so. So let me offer a word of caution. Better hope them skeletons in your closet don't come crawling out, my dude. Okay, like that's low key a threat. Okay, that is low key a threat. I'm the one who's obsessed with this dude is admiring my tweets in his Discord. You know, it's funny. Like, I don't know if BXB is like calling obsessed in another tweet, but like he didn't call him obsessed in this. And like what he did was say like he's making threats, and like low key that is a threat. You know, it's like Tipster's got something on him, and if he doesn't shut up, he's gonna drop it. Like, I mean, how else do you read that other than that's just a threat? Or I don't know what this is about though. So I don't know if he's been like talking shit about him. Oh, I saw this earlier. Okay. Okay, here we go. No. I'm just checking. Like, it doesn't seem like he's really talked about it. Like maybe he's talking about it on stream, not really on Twitter. Like yeah. Okay, alright. Well, fuck Tipster. It's not inaccurate to say he's a bitch. Okay. So let's talk about Jake Lucky. Entire thing just seems so stupid to me. But I Show Speed getting a blowjob in Minecraft in front of 90,000 viewers. Come on, man, what are you doing? This is okay. So like, I know Willie Mack. I think he's gonna drop a video tomorrow about this. But it's like, why would you do this? Because like even YouTube like starts contacting him, and it's like, mind sharing the video URL with us over DM. You know Jake Lucky contacted them. Because I think he actually got a for doing it.
Great chat, but y'all can't see this because you guys are too young, and I don't want to show this to young children. So I'm about to hide my screen. Come on, Jenny, baby.
Huh?
Okay. Like, I'm pretty sure that is. Okay. But there you go. There you go. That is it. It's a Minecraft penis. I mean, it seems ridiculous to me. Really, it does. It doesn't surprise me that YouTube would like fucking hit it. But it just seems ridiculous to me. This asshole would like go out and pull it out to YouTube and to everybody, because people started like flagging to report it, because I wouldn't, like, that's just how assholes are. But yeah, Willie Max probably says best. Why are you such a buzzkill? Seriously, don't you know how you have any laugh at any? So when I went to this guy's Twitter, and I was like, this really just like, he talks about some really stupid shit. But I saw this too, and I was like, oh, okay, he's like one of these. Myth calls out Greek for his strange take on OnlyFans girls, proving that women are okay with being objectified for money. Greek fires back with a Fortnite joke. Like, okay, all right. First off, it's not a strange take. It's accurate as all shit. Like, women are OnlyFans women are okay being objectified for money, right? Like, and it is confusing. Like, look at a guy who is looking at that shit and say, no, you're not allowed to talk about it or ogle it unless you're paying for it on OnlyFans. Like, what is this fucking mentality? Is ridiculous. It really is. I think it was like that one TikTok. It was like a dude spent something like 10 grand while pregnant on OnlyFans subscriptions. And I'm like, look, I'm not one of those people who are like a total prude and saying like, oh, ban porn, worst thing ever. Like, I really don't fucking care. I really don't fucking care. But to me, it is absolutely absurd that you tell men all these things about women, but at the same time you have so many young women instantly gaining success by just like going on to OnlyFans. I've seen like people that have like medical degrees and they choose to be on OnlyFans instead, and it's like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, because first off, it's like, it's like not a long-term thing, but it's quick money, I guess that's what it's about. But I mean, really not a strange take at all. Point out that, I mean, this is more and more fucking, and like, it's hard to respect these too, because like, I've seen some like really fucking disturbing things where it's like, I can't remember if it was like the message from itself, but or maybe it was like the profile image, but it was something like, you couldn't date this woman unless you subscribe to her fans, and it's like, I actually no, I think the woman was saying like she dumped a dude because he wouldn't subscribe to her OnlyFans after a couple dates. There are the like there's that one image where it's like a kid with his mom. I say kid, like I'm sure he's like an adult, looks really young, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with my mom doing OnlyFans, and like the picture looks like shit because he's literally just staring at his mom's tits. Like, disturbingly fucking wrong with that, right? Oh man. A man who shot into a car with her kids ended up sniping, and people are going insane saying he didn't deserve to die. I mean, like, that's like the one time where you're like, yeah, the cops are right to shot. And especially after like a 6-hour standoff. It seemed absurd to me that they didn't. Anyways, back to this. So it's just a true thing. So anyways, it goes, holy shit, Greek. So what you're telling me is that some women are okay with being objectified and seen in a sexual setting when they get to profit from it and directly control what they are comfortable putting out instead of being exploited by some guy? Holy shit, you're a genius. I mean, look, just about every aspect you can get anything's being exploitative, but the idea that because a dude, like, what do they mean by objectify, right? If a dude says a chick is hot, is that objectification? Okay, maybe. But then to say that that's exploitative is fucking bullshit, right? Like, this dude is like hardcore head up his ass. I don't know what wave of feminism this one is, but no. No. Listen, man. If dudes are objectifying women, I guess that would be wrong, right? It's not exploitative, right? Unless they're somehow profiting off of it. Like, for instance, I think like people have been arrested for like following women and trying to like get photos up their skirts and shit like that. That would be objectifying a woman and exploiting her, right? That's wrong. Well, and it's criminal, like 100%, right? But like a dude looking at a chick, like okay, how's this? A dude looking at a chick with like massive tits, right? Or like I think that there's was that one fucking Twitter account where it's just like it posts photos of muscular women. Like, I guess you could say like all the people there are objectifying the woman, but like it's not exploitative, right? That's ridiculous to say and to actually fucking argue, right? At the end of the day, it's just objectification. But these OnlyFans women are objectifying themselves for a personal profit, right? Neither way is, unless someone is coercing them to do it, that's not exploitation either, right? Not what they're doing to themselves. So again, women are okay being objectified for a personal profit when they're on OnlyFans, but they're not okay being objectified by men outside of that. It's bullshit to argue that they're being exploited. Like, that is, this is the type of shit that I fucking hate when you get into arguments with people like this, right? Because at the end of the day, the argument is they're okay being objectified, right? This dude doesn't have the ability to argue against that, so instead he attaches on that men are exploiting them when they're not paying for it. Like, shove it up your ass, you fucking bitch. Like, I don't even know how to, like, man, I don't even know why that annoys me so much. But it really does. Like, because it's so fucking inherently dishonest. But that's just how his brain works. Oh, wait, what's it? Greek's just going on a whole tirade. Like, I mean, good for him. Like, I personally, I'm just like, when I read this, and then to argue that, oh, it's a bizarre fucking take. Like, oh my fucking god, fuck these. It's like, I'm not even gonna, like, pretend that what they're saying comes from a place of, like, honesty. I think that they know that they're full of fucking shit. Right? Like, I think if they fucking know they're full of fucking shit, they just don't fucking care. And why would they? They're benefiting off of this bullshit cuck behavior. I'm not a fan of these current loud-ass men spouting false generalizations as facts and seeming like he specifically said fucking only. Oh my god, let's go back to it, right? Fun fact, OnlyFans shows that women are okay with being objectified if it's for money. Yeah! Generalization. Well, let's see. I mean, my problem is when I see, like, women with medical degrees, right? I guess in fairness, it is a false generalization. It's just a generalization. Fuck yourself. We get it. You're upset that women are making the money now instead of you objectifying them and then making nothing off of it. L. Oh god. Okay, so, like, this is what I mean, right? He says, like, oh, they're exploiting them, and then it's like, oh, they're objectifying them, and the women don't get to profit, and now that they do, you're mad. What the fuck, man? Like, oh my god. That's not even the fucking argument! Regardless of your stance or perspective on my views, I hope we all take a moment to look at the things we consume and the people we believe. Are they touting ideas that bring people together and produce understanding, or ideas that isolate others and ignores perspectives? I mean, like, I'll say it like this, dude. I see plenty of people that say bullshit like this, right? Where they can't actually argue. Like, again, sure, it's a generalization, but it's also him fucking. I mean, like, he's being silly. Like, he's clearly trying to piss people off. But, dude, there is some truth to that statement. OnlyFans has shown that, right? There was a time I remember where as a whole, men were being told not to objectify women, respect women. Like, they were straight up trying to cover. I mean, they still are trying to cover up women in, like, video games, in comic books, in TV shows, and in movies. Right? Like, we've seen this. We've seen, like, campaigns to get them to do this. We've seen, like, companies make big statements about how they've changed signs of characters to, you know, appeal to a modern audience and shit like that. We know this has happened, right? But at the exact same time, you have OnlyFans and you have young women flooding into it and objectifying and whoring themselves out for cash. And the sad thing is, a lot of them that, like, wind up printing themselves out too, right? So you have this absurd fucking reality where you're like, men can objectify the women, but only when they're paying an OnlyFans subscription and only for that particular woman. Fuck off. Like, human beings just don't function that way. Right? They just don't. And you're a fucking idiot, because here's the thing. All of humanity pre-existed OnlyFans, you fucking loser. God damn. But again, it makes sense to me that Jake Lucky, the internet snitch, would turn around and take issues with what this Greek person said. But just to finish it up, Jake Lucky's husband says if you disagree with Jake Lucky's coverage of I Show Speed, then you're a pedo. If you're trying to argue that the 17-year-old child, I Show Speed, be allowed to stream this and there's nothing wrong with it, I can only assume you're a sexual predator. This is the content you support. You're disgusting. Well, Internet Snitch's husband, let's think about this, right? If you're telling me that what we saw there was a 17-year-old getting a blowjob in Minecraft, and 2, that is a sexual activity of a minor, and if you support it, that makes you a pedo, then, like, you sharing the content again on Twitter really spits in the face of this idea that fucking, like, these people, like, not consider it's like the individuals that argue that lolly king, like the lolly stuff is pedophilic, right? And then they're retweeting the fucking images, right? It's like, dude, if you think it's wrong, what are you doing? Right? Like, this dude, like, oh, what you saw here was wrong and sexualized content, only pedophiles would watch it. Because from a 17-year-old, and then you're fucking retweeting it. Like, you don't believe any of this shit. I mean, I look, man, as someone who is married, I can appreciate standing by your spouse. And I really can. Good on you. But also, if you're gonna do that, you should take some of the fucking slack for your husband. I guess this is proof that it's the husband. Now, again, I personally don't care. Like, I personally don't care that that this guy thinks thinks this stupid shit. Because I see people on Twitter argue now that if what, like, Keemstar dates a 20-year-old, that's pedophilic, right? I've seen people argue that dating an 18-year-old is actually worse than dating a 16-year-old because clearly they're okay with dating young, but they're trying to avoid being arrested. It's like, holy fuck. Like, how do you... I am genuinely fucking... Okay, so let's talk about I guess this would be the main topic. Honestly, dude's just as creepy for retweeting the video. Yeah, okay, person with the acrylic name. Yeah, dude, it is, right? Like, if you really think about it and consider it, if you say something is like wrong and criminal and pedophilic, and you're retweeting and sharing it with, like, what does that say about you, right? For me, I'm not going to sit there and accuse them of being a pedo or anything, but I am going to say that I think that they're fucking lame, that supporting it, or at least taking issues with trying to get this guy's channel, like, makes you a pedo. Like, I think then we things around on you pretty easily. Why are you sharing that shit? Because you don't fucking believe it. If you believed it was actually that type of content, you wouldn't be fucking retweeting. You wouldn't be tweeting it out. Like you're shit, and everybody fucking knows it. But again, I understand, as a spouse, standing by your spouse, I get that. And if that's what it's about, I as a husband myself, Like, look, man, if my wife does something stupid, I'm gonna have to stand by it. Just like if I do something stupid, my wife has to. Okay, so TLDR, my ex-partner Hyojin Squizzy was abusive to me, both emotionally and physically. 2019 till the back half of 2021. They berated me, put me down, and assaulted me. Worst of which is on page 2. Evidence of it is at the end. So, I had the Google Drive, and like there's just Hyojin though, or Squeeze was Squizzy. To my understanding, Hyojin was the same individual who was involved in the cancellation of Plazo and supported a lot of the claims against the right. I think that they've had other drama controversies related to supposedly racist tirades that they've gone off on. But they genuinely do not seem like a healthy, mentally well person based on the text messages. And again, maybe there's more context behind it, but given what they've done in the past, I don't see them as like a good or an honest. So like I'm really hesitant to sit there and say, oh well, maybe you're okay. Maybe you didn't. But I'm leaning more in the direction of they're fucking a degenerate. Like I don't see any other way of looking. For 2.5 years, I was trapped in an abusive relationship with Hyojin Squizzy that I both could not escape and could not tell anybody about. Right is now because I constantly see my ex popping up in my feed thanks to the wonderful Twitter and YouTube algorithm, not to mention people reposting their content. I brought this up to Hyojin directly, and while the apology they sent was nice and all, the trauma they've given me is well and truly for life. I really plan to keep it private, but I reached a boiling point how much I'm willing to lie to protect their image, both to my friends and my family. It's about time I got this off my chest. Now, look, men genuinely are much less willing to use, but again, when this person came forward with their story against Hyojin, they included a bunch of messages that we'll read through at least a handful, right? That seem to lend a lot of credibility to what they're saying. Plus, on top of that, Hyojin has a pretty bad reputation already. So, I mean, I'm just saying that it definitely seemed like struck while the iron was hot against him and brought to back it up. So where do I even begin? We started dating, it was fine, great even. For a while, the first 6 months were fine. Occasionally, they would do the classic redirect anger you're feeling from unresolved issues to your partner, berate me, but I kept promised it would stop, and I played it. They were, however, constantly materialistic, even at the cost of my own feelings. Constant arguments over what I wear, what I buy, what I do on nights out, or in order because anything they would do would be a status thing. Wanted me to act the same way so I wouldn't embarrass them. Anytime arguments would happen, they would be my fault in ways. Either I actually fucked up or a problem they would cause. I would try to approach them and tell them how they hurt me. I wanted to talk about it, and it would instantly turn into accusations of, you're just doing this to make me feel stupid. Just fucking leave then. I would end up apologizing and resolved. Whatever I had brought up to them would just be added to the list of repeated behavior. The main thing I would bring up to them was the anger redirection, which culminated around March 2020. Sorry, a lot of things I bring up will be out of order. They came to visit me a couple days before COVID started, bad timing. After it did, we realized they had to go back to Australia before flights ran out. Very stressful for everybody involved. It certainly did not help that whenever my parents weren't in the room, I was in a punching bag like all of it was my fault, and any help I suggested we responded to in screams. Yeah, man, like, the thing is, I've dated women like this, but typically because I'm, I don't know how to say it, but I guess I'm not, like, very responsive. Somebody is going on that that like it normally like fizzles out the relationship because people get like super fucking, which typically that's how a lot of these stories sound, right? That's why I said they sound like Amber Heard light, because when you listen to Johnny Depp describe it, it's like, oh, she really liked him at first, and then it turns into like her being like this obsessive possessive monster. That's how the Hyojin thing sounds, like extremely materialistic. Things start great for 6 months. It's only light at first, but then it like progresses into this like insane behavior. She was also with Pyro for a time. Who knows what the fuck she did to him too? I mean, maybe Pyro will come out with a story about her. Who knows? But yeah, and I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this sounds like that type of personality, right? And she does. I think it's. I don't know if I'll be able to find the exact one, but in one of the messages, apparently she argues that she's like a foot shorter than him, so she isn't capable of abusing him. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this woman is not only an abuser, but she justifies the physical abuse by arguing that he's bigger, so it's okay. Like that and see, genuinely, that's why dudes don't want to come forward with that shit, because it's like, well, how is she if you're larger, right? Like, and there are other guys that still look at situations like that and they're like, well, you should be able to take it. If you don't like it, just leave. It's like, it does, man, it sucks. It really does. At one point, they screamed at me that I was fucking useless, forced me out of my own rooms, streamed to raise money for the ticket. Naturally, I obeyed their orders and made them dinner while they streamed. They came downstairs, I apologized to them. Of course, my mom caught wind of how much they were screaming at me and was getting increasingly for them. My mother wasn't aware that Hyojin had just finished a fundraising stream. That Hyojin is fucking loaded. Thinking that they were some starving college kid, she offered to pay for the impromptu flight from Europe to Australia in full. Hyojin immediately accepted. I felt fucking gross. They only ended up paying my mother back okay, they did pay the mother back exactly 1 year later. Me constantly reminding them for months in prop tickets to Australia. Not fucking true, turns out. What a bitch. Okay, so like she screams at the boyfriend, right? Kicks him out of the room, raises a ton of money on stream. The mom, thinking that she's desperate and in need of help, which is why she's screaming, offers to pay for the fucking ticket, which Hyojin just raised the money for, and she goes and says, "Oh yeah, I'll take it right away," and then doesn't pay the mom back for a year, and only with the boyfriend like constantly having to nag her. That is, oh man, you know the word. You know the word. I visited them for emergency reasons back in the summer of 2019. Got fucking yelled at because they had a migraine from how hot it was at work. Asked if I could go home early so I could rest. They screamed at me saying I ruined their night. They didn't allow me to sleep in bed that night. What the fuck? I was promising to get better. Like, dude, she's not letting you. What really made things spiral out of control was New Year's 2020. I'd flown down to Australia for a couple weeks to be with Hyojin and their family. On New Year's itself, we bought a tent and to be in the park to watch the fireworks. Fun until they once again called me fucking useless and yelled at me because I was struggling to figure out how to build the tent. They sat there and did nothing. Yeah. Hyojin sounds like a competent human being that can survive without leeching off of us. Massive scene in the middle of a very crowded park was fun. At that point, they did that shit was bouncing off of me. A couple days after, on January 3rd, 2020, my partner had received... Actually, wait, hold on. Where he talks about, like, bouncing off him because the shit stops bothering him is because at that point it becomes just normal behavior and he just accepts it, right? That's not a good thing. Like, I was talking to somebody about it and they're like, well, you know, I just, like, kind of, like, off. At least you have that. And it's like, well, no, because that means you're starting to accept it. You shouldn't be doing that. Constantly back. What's up, Void King? Okay. Sorry, I like. Okay. A couple days after, on January 3rd, 2020, my partner had received an early press copy of the game and asked for help installing it. Turns out getting early copies to work on Steam is a fucking ball ache. Neither of us can figure it out. The usual stuff happens, yelling, blaming me, etc., telling me to fuck off. I just go and sit on their bed on the verge of tears. They proceed to, in the same room I'm in, get on Discord voice chat with their friends, start chatting like nothing's going on. I lie there in pure disbelief. I mustered up the courage to ask, are you actually doing this? Bad idea. Very bad idea. Hyojin deafens the call. I tell them it is fucked up, and they hit me hard. So hard, in fact, my head bounces off the wall. Like, yeah, man. We just stand there motionless, and without saying a word, I ask, what the fuck did you just do? They start crying and storm out into a guest room in their house. This was the first one I realized I was in an abusive relationship. For a year it was emotional, and now it was physical. So I did what most reasonable people do. I fucking panicked. I phoned up one of our friends who lived nearby, explained to him what just happened as quickly as possible. Bless his fucking soul, he saved my life. I asked him if I can stay with him for the remainder of my trip, and he instantly agrees. He immediately calls an ambulance to their house and an Uber for myself so I can get to his place. I start gathering my shit as fast as I can so I can leave without Hyojin walking in on me packing. Hyojin walks in on me packing, asks me what I'm doing. Before I can answer, they realize. They start crying that I've already ruined their year. I tell them I'm fucking terrified of them. They run to the bathroom and grab a knife. At first they point at me, then at themselves. I lunge to try and disarm them, and they scratch up my arm pretty bad. I managed to get the knife, but it was at this point that their mother walked in. She starts screaming at Hyojin, saying they're an attention whore, oh my god. Attention whore, a drama queen. How they always do this, and they're sick in the head, and then she just walks away like she didn't see anything. Lovely woman. The police show up along with the ambulance. I tell them what happened, and they take my partner away. I take the Uber to my friend's place. Yeah, actually, there are messages in response to this, so it does seem to be true. Because I guess she got mad that she was being charged with it. Once at this house, he and his flatmates try to get to my mind to shit. But at this point, I'm catatonic. I was lost. I had no idea where my life was gonna go in the next couple days. Hyojin texts me, tells me we're through, tells me I've ruined their life. It's my fault that they're gonna get a criminal record. Tells me how I don't love them, and I apologize. The police let them go with a warning. We spent an hour texting, and Hyojin managed to convince me that the deal is my fault. Hyojin forces me to pay for an Uber to take them to the place I'm staying at, drop the rest of my shit off. I had forgotten my tooth. Dude, that's a trap. Hyojin meets me with them so we can talk. I pretty much end up begging for them to take me back, and they do. We get back together. I even end up helping them write a statement for the police so they don't get a criminal record. I was promised things would get better. I feel like I want to yell like, dude, this is such a big mistake. I think like the yeah, do you want to break up? I obviously don't. I love you, man. But you don't, but yeah, but do you love me? Yes, I do. I seriously doubt it. That's why I fucking did this, Hyojin. This right thing. I did not feel safe. You're okay with me being charged, having a criminal record? Of course not. I told them over and fucking over. So, like, Hyojin's clearly guilting this, right? You're okay with telling my friends and having them hate me. Don't charge her, please. And no, I told them be happened. You're okay with calling an ambulance when I told you my parents would beat me. I don't want your friends to hate you. You're okay with my parents beating me and throwing abuse at me. You were okay with that. You saw I tried to cancel the ambulance. I called them. I called the ambulance because you were threatening to kill yourself. Like, this is all guilt tripping this dude, right? Like, this is where I think that it happened. Maybe. Because I hold within, it is absolutely within the realm of possibility. These are somehow out of context. But it really seemed like this woman did just guilt this guy into getting her criminal charges dropped. I love you and I couldn't help you. Ambulance is the right thing to do. You listen to my mom throw verbal abuse at me. Which, again, that matches up with his story. Where he talked about the mom basically just walking in and putting her down. And he goes, I did and didn't do anything. And I'm sorry, I told her to go away. They have no fucking spine is why. Look at that. First off, goes into guilt tripping him and then goes into insulting him. Are you going to use this as evidence when we go to court? I mean, you can see it. I bet you would, because we are. Someone with no spine would have let you keep going. Not pleading guilty. When I don't plead guilty, that means you have to go to court as well. Can we just talk about this here? I don't believe you let me. Like, you can see here. I was in jail for 6 hours. I was put in fucking cuffs. Like, she deserved to be. What a psychopath. I keep reading through the story, but like, I'm like, you can clearly see it in the messages. Okay, alright. Forgiving them for this was the worst mistake of my life. Letting that go basically opened the floodgates for every piece of textbook abuse you can imagine. How the mildest complication means I don't love them. Me moving in with my friends instead of getting a place with my and I didn't love them, their words. Constantly suicide baiting, telling me that if I leave, they would kill themselves. My friends suck and I should cut them off. And projecting that I'm somehow the one that hates their friends. My favorite thing about that was how one of the breakups, well, yeah, they impromptu broke up with like 5 times that relationship, happened because they had an argument in a Discord server with one of their close friends and ended the convo on a sour note. Instead of working out privately, Hyojin asked me to rate the other guy. What a cunt. Well, it was just, I just had to say it. What an irredeemable, absolute disreputable you. I said, no, you guys are both adults. Talk privately. Yelling at the guy would just be counterproductive. When I kept declining after Hyojin insisted, they broke up with me. They would also do the classic move, my insecurities against me. Using my car accident to belittle me in public, servers with people I barely knew, while I was quite literally in the ICU, bringing up friends who had passed away to get a rise out of me during arguments. Incredibly normal behavior. That is absolutely like this woman absolutely. For the last year of our relationship, Hyojin would constantly remind me that me reconnecting with old friends who had moved back to Belgium was making them fall out of love with me, spending every week together on Discord. They get mad at me whenever I tell them what my friends got up to that day. For all of 2020, I was basically out. I know I could break up with them because they would somehow use it against me. I know I couldn't break up with them because they would somehow use it against me. They're incredibly vindictive. For example, that guy I stayed with during New Year's, shortly after the New Year's incident, him and Hyojin stopped being friends. Because of this, Hyojin celebrated anytime they'd hear any sort of negative news about the guy. Looking forward to hearing more, saying shit along the lines of hoping they all forget the day they crossed Wizzy, Hyojin, etc. Oh, power trip. I was also afraid of what Hyojin would do to themselves if I broke up with them for honest reasons, so I waited for it to happen. They would let me end things that seemed mutual. COVID was a fucking godsend. God, good for you, man. It was a fucking godsend in that regard, and finally gave me a way out I needed. Telling them that we break up because it's getting harder and harder for us to see each other. We talked for a month, let emotions settle. Got back in touch afterwards and it was fine until they asked me to not speak again because the new partner wasn't comfortable with them talking to their ex. I obliged. Got back in touch a couple months later and they joined a lot of my close friends, but the more I reflected on my experience, More terrified I was to have them this close to me, so I politely asked them to leave. They sent thinly veiled threats my way on everything. A week later, they found out I had started telling my close friends everything you've just read. They got mad at me one time, called my behavior childish. That didn't convince me I was never abused in the first place. I told them are. That about covers it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I think I have the Discord messages. This one. Yeah. What are you doing? Moving more of my shit, the usual. No, as in, what are you saying? What? About me? What did you say? Why am I getting unfollowed by 90% of the people that were in Cat server? What are you doing? Bro, I'm not doing this. You should probably calm down. No, because this is childish. I was gone for 3 years. You have some fucking nerve. It's unreal. You were old enough to understand that shit wasn't okay, and writing me a half-assed apology shit okay out of nowhere. This is not how this works. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm not saying it to get you to forgive me. What do you want? Just want to clear up certain things about me now. Not retreading our old ground, because that's not really productive. That's the part you're not getting for the 4th time. I don't fucking care. Why are you acting like this now, though? Call me childish all you want. I'm not giving the time of day to my accuser. I get I was a shit recently. Are you kidding me? That's a fucking word to throw. Because while we were dating, I was insanely fucking patient with you. Overdue. Oh, fuck off. Leave me alone. Let me start this off by saying that I don't need to lie. I get it. What I say doesn't matter but regardless, I'm sorry. I owe you a very big apology. I hope it doesn't come off as calculated or ungenuine. Just need you to see it because it's the best I can give. Doesn't mean anything, I know. Just know that I am genuinely sorry for everything I've done. Sorry for how I acted when you asked me so nicely to the server. My anger and entitlement still hasn't changed since you've known me. I took your patience for granted, mistreated you, really took advantage of you. In the entire relationship, I don't think I've ever done wrong. Regret not talking about what occurred on New Year's morning. I feel like that's something to talk about, and you definitely had every right to do with what you did, yada yada. Sorry for taking my anger out onto you about blank in general. Misplaced anger is a problem I need to sort out. Okay, so like, I will say this. This is something with abusers where they do, they'll apologize and they'll take like responsibility and ownership, and then they promise to change or get you to accept them, right? You know, she's saying all the things about like, oh, well, these are things I need to get better at, and I acknowledge the problem, but she's just gonna do it again, right? It's just a way of getting this guy to calm down and accept her again, and then she can go on abusing him even. It's generally like that's how the cycle tends to work. Everything you feel about me is deserved. You deserve to talk about it. I sent what you said to almost every one of my friends just to force myself to self-reflect. I've lost trust from a lot of them. That's okay because nothing that happens to me will ever undo what I did to you. Never get excuse what I did to you. You met me at a time I never want to take responsibility, and where I was toxic, paranoid, and horrible in general. Sorry for how I treated you, bringing everything. But like, she was also involved in that shit with Plaza, so like, it seems the type of person she is, right? And even then, you know, it was like throwing it back at them. You know, abuse. Are you kidding me? That's a fucking word to throw. And see, like, it's a day later when she sends this message. So it's like, in the moment, she was heated and angry and mad and was going off, calmed down and backed off, retreated a bit, apologized. I think that's just in the hopes of getting him to calm down. That way, continue on the behavior. I'm sorry for hitting you over nothing, literally over nothing, and again, anger at something misplaced it on you. So again, like, admitting to the abuse, nothing to do with what I've done, the messages rekindle anything, yada yada. Be the person I am now, clearly, I'm narcissistic, abusive, and I misplaced my anger and hurt everyone around me. Codependent, I weaponize mental illness, and again, my victim complex is huge. There's no fucking... okay, so there you go. So, like I would sit there and go, like, yeah, I mean, like, they're flat out saying everything right there. And I don't know if they ever thought that would be, leaked publicly. But either way, like, I can't person is being genuine. I really just see this as something they said in the hopes of getting this guy to calm down because he was out there ruining her reputation, and that's what matters to her, right? You're dealing with someone who's pain. What do you deal with someone who's pain? Like, yeah, I think this like whole thing is just it really is. It hit him. He was emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, and then became physically. And after even cutting this guy, went right back to her because that. Yeah, I agree, Danny Clock. She's all right, guys. We will not be having any more streams this week because on Wednesday we're flying out to Houston. Me and my wife, Tanami Matsuri. I'll be posting updates community channel. I can upload videos from the convention there. If it maybe is like a massive maybe, I might do a live stream from the convention or pods. That's a big if. Because the sound would be like if I see people, like we can. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in again.